Hey, it's me, Erin, your friendly neighborhood energy alchemist. So have you heard the term dark night of the soul? Have you ever wondered, what does that mean? And am I going through a dark night of the soul? Those are great questions. So stay tuned because I'm going to talk all about it in this video. Just letting you know, I am reading from a teleprompter because I wrote this lesson and I give this lesson during my Professor Brown Breaks It Down on TikTok live every Tuesday, 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. This is the same lesson. I'm just reading it from a teleprompter, and sometimes I get a little caught up in what I'm saying, so just bear with me. I'm still learning. And of course, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. I hope you have a great day. The dark night of the soul is a concept related to spiritual growth and development that is often associated with New Age and spiritualism. It's characterized by a period of intense inner turmoil, confusion, and distress that one may experience on the path of spiritual awakening. The term was originally coined by the Spanish mystic Saint John of the Cross in the 16th century to describe his own experience of spiritual crisis. He references this specifically during the second phase of his poem, Dark Night, Noche Oscura, in which he felt God's presence, but it was not yet stable. Dolores Cannon, the inventor and perfecter of the quantum healing hypnosis therapy technique, described the dark night of the soul as a profound spiritual crisis that often occurs after a person has undergone a significant shift in their consciousness or experienced a spiritual awakening. And according to Ram Dass, going through a dark night of the soul is a transformative experience that can ultimately lead to spiritual growth. Both spiritual teachers have commented numerous times how every single person they have encountered that was going through an awakening has, at some time or another, experienced a dark night themselves. Often, this happens more than once as you release limiting beliefs that you have long held as fact. During the dark night of the soul, one may experience a range of symptoms and feelings such as depression, anxiety, fear, anger, and hopelessness. However, it is essential to remember that this is a natural part of the spiritual journey that can lead to profound growth and transformation. It is like wearing glasses for the first time. Suddenly, there's leaves on the tree. Although depression shares many of its characteristics with a dark night of the soul, it is not the same and can often be treated with medications, therapy, and lifestyle changes. The ultimate difference between regular depression and the dark night of the soul's depression is that regular depression is usually self-centric, what's wrong with me, I feel worthless, whereas the dark night's depression is philosophical in nature and is accompanied by existential reflections such as why am I here and what is my purpose. Also, when depression ends or becomes more controlled with medication, not much changes in life in terms of your beliefs, values, and habits. However, when the dark night of the soul ends, everything in your life is transformed and life becomes wondrous again. The dark night of the soul can be thought of as spiritual depression. It is primarily a spiritual and existential form of crisis that cannot be treated or cured with therapy or psychiatry. Therefore, it is common to feel an increasing sense of hopelessness, unease, and despair as we discover that no one can save us but ourselves. Polish psychiatrist Kazimierz Dabrowski once coined the term positive disintegration, as a way to help explain what a dark night feels like. This views tension and anxiety as necessary in the process of spiritual and psychological maturing. Meaning, it's the friction within us that causes the mirror of our souls to be polished enough for us to glimpse our true nature. Remember, this is similar to what I've said before about contrast being important to propel us forward on our spiritual journeys. People often refer to the dark night as some kind of problem they have to fix or something they went through a long time ago that it's now over. But what these people thought was a dark night may have just been a glimpse of the darkness within them, especially when they speak egotistically about it as if it were a badge of honor. A true dark night of the soul leaves a long-lasting impact on you. It changes you completely. When you exit a dark night, you will discover that something is always taken away from you, for the better, such as your beliefs, your perceptions, your former meaning in life, or even in rare cases, your ego identification. The dark night of the soul is your cocoon. It is an ego death whereby you shed the ego that prevents you from embodying your soul. If you try to avoid the hard work of breaking down your old confining structures, you won't have what it takes to truly embody your essential nature. Before any true growth or healing can occur, there must be a process of destruction and complete annihilation of everything you thought would bring you happiness. Most people experience dark nights realize this, that nothing makes them happy anymore, not bodily, not sexually, not emotional, not material, not political, not social, and not even spiritual. And this is the start of the purification process. What's the difference between conditioning and reality? Since birth, you've been conditioned to believe that money will make you happy, a sexy, rich partner will make you happy, a high IQ will make you happy, a big house will make you happy, a thriving career will make you happy, a perfect life will make you happy. But this is all a lie, because whatever you pursue happiness, you are immediately losing touch with the fact that happiness is already right here, right now, in this very second, without you having to do anything or question anything. Happiness is. There are typically 3 reasons that spiritual awakenings occur. The first is at the hands of wise spiritual teachers. The second is through spiritual drive of soulfully mature people. And the third is spontaneously due to life experience. Spontaneous awakenings arrive in a number of ways, like a terminal diagnosis, old age, near-death experience, physical accident, loss of a loved one, romantic breakup, destruction of your home or homeland, suicidal depression, or the complete loss of your religious faith. The dark night is an omen of change. It lets us know that we can't continue living the way we have been living. There's no growth without first seeing and acknowledging our existing disappointment. Those that have experienced or are currently experiencing a dark night of the soul will know that something very fundamental at a core level is out of focus or completely lacking in their lives. Those going through a dark night will sense that so much more is possible in their lives, even though they don't exactly know what so much more is. While every experience of the dark night of the soul is different, the one common thread is that it is a path of initiation. Are in the dark night so that you can understand what light is. You are disconnected so that you can understand what connection is. You are lost so that you can find your way back home. Remember that this is your chance to grow and develop as you move beyond things that no longer align with you. On our journeys, we may encounter many dark nights, some more challenging and lengthy than others, but they all serve the purpose of helping us surpass our own limitations or those imposed by society. Though your initial response may be to resist, I encourage you to embrace the experience and learn from it, as it will teach you how to integrate your emotions and pave the way